Okay, so we're back here with Twinkie. She's owned by our good friend Steve and Boo Ross. Um, this is a very feely filly. We've been handling her quite a bit. We've done a whole bunch of stuff with her on the ground. Some of it we've filmed, some of it we have not. Nothing extreme, just basic handling, basically hosing her off, brushing her, getting her just where she lets us catch her. We've done a little bit with the rope. We've done a little bit with the flag, as you guys have seen. And I did successfully saddle her on Saturday, and then we went back and saddled her again the other day, and it did not go quite as good. It started off wonderful, and she ended up hitting the cinch when we changed direction, and she decided to throw herself a full blown fit about it. Luckily, we did not get that on camera, so because that would have made the blooper reel for sure on everything. This filly, some of them, they are just so feely and have such a strong flight response that no matter how much groundwork you do, you are going to have to go through all the stages of them accepting the saddle cinched up on them. Some of them are just going to buck, some of them are going to fight it. And this filly just happens to be kind of one of them. So I'm hoping today goes a little smoother than it did the other day, but we will see. So after I've saddled them a couple times, I really don't dilly dally around. I'll come in here and I'll just kind of rub on them. They got to be comfortable with me standing over here, me rubbing over them, touching their cinch area. But other than that, I'm not going to come in here and just waste a whole lot of energy going through every stage every time. At a certain point, if they've been saddled a couple times, even if her last saddle wasn't 100%, didn't go 100% the way I wanted it to, it ended up very well. She ended up, it took us quite a while, but she ended up giving it up to a certain point where I was pretty satisfied. So we'll rub on her hair for a minute. She's getting a lot more comfortable just being around me. There's a few little spots every once in a while she'll kind of overreact, but I'm not going to hold that against her. So we're going to kind of abandon our friend flag for now, and then we're just going to move right into our handy dandy Robert Teskey saddle pad. So again, I'm not going to beat this to death. I just kind of want to get her saddled because she's been pretty good about getting saddled. It's just the cinch that we're having our struggle with. So I'm not going to make a problem where there isn't one. But I'm going to just touch a few things. The pad is a lot lighter, so I'm going to just throw the pad at her both sides, and then I'm just going to go ahead and saddle her up from the one side and go ahead and cinch her up. It's not rushing necessarily. It's just I know where my problem is, and it's just with the cinch. So there's not much point in beating everything else to death. If she's pretty good about everything else, we just got to go ahead and get her over the cinching up process. So we don't go just all in. I don't just snug it right up on them. We ease into it, but we are going to have to darn sure get it tight enough for her where the saddle doesn't end up underneath her, because then we're going to have much bigger problems to deal with. So for me, we're just going to go through, touch a few things. I always like to snug this thing up on them, just so when I do commit to taking a second or third wrap around with the latigo, it's not really 100% taking them by surprise. I always make sure I get the front latigo done, just in case they do have a blow up. At least the saddle ain't going nowhere. Right here, I'm not being too cautious. but I am just going to be very aware of her body language at the moment, since I'm going to be down here with my head down her hair around her belly. So as you can see, that went pretty decent. Like I said, I do kind of have an idea of what I'm expecting to happen today. The other day when we switched directions and she blew up, it really, I'm not going to lie, it did take me by surprise. But it just goes to show that no matter how many of these things you start, and no matter how good you do your homework, things still do go awry, and you just have to be prepared to deal with it as it presents itself to you. So we're just going to kind of get right into it. We're going to walk her off first. Again, like, this is all okay. This was okay the first time, and it was okay the second time. It's when we went to switch directions and encourage her to move forward a little more is when we had our big moment. So I'm just going to ease around here. I'm hoping I got a lot of my point across to her last time, that this saddle isn't going anywhere until you cooperate. She's licking her lips. She's moving her ears. Again, she did this last time as well, so this is a good learning opportunity right here to step over the whip, or the flag, sorry. But this is going pretty good right now. Where it all went awry last time is when we went this direction. She hit this thing this direction, and things just kind of progressed from there. This is much, much more of what I'm looking to see. Again, she's still pretty tight this way, so I'm just monitoring what's going on. I'm reading her body language. She's a lot tighter right now, so I'm going to be prepared to, when she jumps or she does something, I'm going to make sure I'm out of the way. One of the biggest things with my deal is every time when I'm working with these horses on the ground, I try and make them uncomfortable, and their release point is when they face up. And sometimes then when you move into this process and that something really makes them uncomfortable, they come to you in a hurry and they forget their brakes a little bit. So this is going very well. I'm pretty happy with it. So we're going to go ahead and up the ante just a little bit, snug it up another hole. So this is, again, what I'm looking for. Now, I have a feeling we're still going to see some bronc out of this filly today. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. But now we got the trot okay, now we're going to move her forward. Or we got the walk okay, now we're going to move her forward. As you can see, I got a lot of tightness. And this here, she's not really committing to bronking, so I'm going to let it slide. If she were to really explode like this, I take it away from her, and I'll either switch directions completely, or I'll just put the brakes on her just a little bit. I never want these things to truly get after bucking. I want to make sure that bucking is not a go-to response for these things. So when they buck, their life gets harder. And I don't mean it gets harder as in I'm going to beat them up for bucking, because bucking is just a form of trying to find a release from this saddle. It's not making her comfortable, so she's going to find a way to get rid of it. This is acceptable. This is her going through the motions of, what do I do to get comfortable? Her ears are moving around. She's still looking for options. She's weighing. But if she was to break in half, I would either make her switch directions, or I would pull on her a little bit just to kind of throw her off balance in that buck so that things get a little harder. That latigo coming down, it's not ideal, but you know what? It's all learning opportunities because that's hitting her legs. Once I feel like I got a moment where she's relaxing pretty good, like right here is pretty good, I'll just kind of let her go a little more. And as you can see, this filly is free to move forward. She's free to work it out. She's free to explore some options, but she is choosing to kind of just work her way through it and not have a complete meltdown. And no word of a lie, when we worked her last time, when she decided to blow up, there was absolutely zero I could do about it. I just kind of had to step out of the way and try and be there and fly my little sorrel kite while the stirrups slapped together over the top of her. And she got after it, and we just worked through it. And then whenever she'd kind of calm down, I just let her have her air, let her kind of reset, and then I would ask her to go again. And if she'd blow up again, we'd just keep going and work through it until she'd calm down, and then I would relax, let her stand, let her catch her breath, and then ask her to go again until when we asked her to go, this is more of what we got. Not I'm getting this piece of leather off of my back right now. So this is big gain from last time because now I have a horse to work with. She is not 100% satisfied at the moment, but she's doing her best. She's moving her ears around. She's kind of checking in with me, looking for options. And this is good. I'm okay with this. She's looking at my dog over there. I have about 4 dogs running around here full time that love to appear out of nowhere during colt starting season, sniffing around. So they like to keep it interesting. And it's right here. That's just part of it. She's digging in real hard, and she's panicking and tightening and not using herself correctly. So her hind feet slipped out from underneath her, and down she went. But I'm not going to come to her rescue. We have a camera lady in that corner, so it's just a tick more. Just a tick more to work through there. But again, it's up to her to stand up. So when they slip and fall like that, there's really not a whole lot I can do other than just make sure she's okay, which she was. But I'm hoping that when she does that, she's gauging that, okay, when I get out of position in this tighter area, there's a potential I'm not going to be able to hold myself up. So I'm going to have to work at making sure I'm using myself correctly and doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, and I won't fall down. So this is great. So we're still not 100% committed to standing there and relaxing, but we're not committing to blowing up either. So right now is just a matter of just waiting her out and just letting her letting her figure out that this saddle isn't going anywhere until she relaxes and calms down and just moves forward. You know, the reason I've decided in the past several years to kind of change up how I do a lot of things has a lot to do with my own personal life and my own personal experiences of sometimes things are just uncomfortable, and it doesn't matter how much you want to fight or how much you want to hide or run away from something. Your problems are always going to be there until you just learn how to work your way through them. And that's really inspired me a lot to convey that over to my horse training. And I'm not really sure if my horse training helped me deal with life a little more, or my life experience, or helped me deal with my horse training. But I think it just kind of feeds off of each other, and I can relate a lot to this filly because there's been a lot of times in my life where I've just wanted to drop everything and run away. And the times I have hid or just fought life head on and just react instead of just think and work through things, the harder life got. So this is something I can relate to with this filly. Is right now she's not really enjoying life, and I hate that for her, but it's up to her. It's up to her to figure out how to deal with it. I'm here as a helping hand when she wants to kind of come to and relax and start looking for a different way to resolve things. I'm here to help guide her, but until she comes to that conclusion, is what I'm doing right now isn't working, so I need to either change what I'm doing or how I'm facing things, or I need some help from someone who does know. She's going to have to go through this. And some of them come to that conclusion real quick, and other ones like her that just, they have an extremely strong survival instinct, and sometimes that survival instinct gets in their way more than it helps them. Because yes, if I was a predator in the woods or something like that, running away to a degree does work, but right now this predator's on her back, and in her mind it's a predator. And she's just got to learn that it isn't going anywhere. And the more you relax, the easier this is going to be. As you can see, I'm just standing here. So I'm here for moral support if she wants it. When she wants to kind of relax and come to me, I very much make sure that I'm ready. I'm here for her when she decides that she's going to calm down. Like right here, she's showing me signs that she's like, hey, Colin, I just don't know. I want to figure this out, but I'm really uncomfortable. I get it, girlfriend, but you gotta relax in order for it to get better. You're just gonna have to just be still for a minute. So getting back to that, it's, as you can see, when things calm down in her brain, things get better. It's not near as stressful. She's not working herself up near as bad. But she just hasn't 100% committed to the idea that if I just calm down and relax, things will get easier. It's the same as our own problems that we face in life. I mean, it's hard. It's easy to say just calm down and just deal with it as it comes to you. It's hard to just hit the brakes and just try and deal with things rationally instead of just reacting to things as they happen to you. But every time I've ever tried to run away from a problem or react to a problem in a without thinking through it, the problem's always gotten worse. Where when I've taken my time and used my brain and just work through something in a path of least resistance thought process, the problem generally, I'm not saying that you won't have problems, but they generally they come to a conclusion a lot easier than if we just keep running or fighting or whatever, or reacting to things in a negative way. So now we're going to make things just a little easier. She's going to stand here and I'm going to pet on her. So you can see she's out of breath, but you know, as much as I'd love to tell her, like, hey, Twinkie, if you just stand here and be okay with this saddle and move forward when I ask you to move forward and not overreact about it, you wouldn't be out of breath right now. But unfortunately, she's a lot like me. She has to learn things the hard way, and it's not because she's trying to be bad. She's there's no bad in this mare. She's actually quite sweet. She just has a very strong survival instinct. The flight response is very, very much a main priority in her brain and the way she thinks. And then, of course, when flight isn't working, then fight is the next step. And, you know, now she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to stand here and catch my breath for a minute. So I'm going to let her ear up, but and this is her reward, is she gets to stand here and relax. The saddle isn't gone anywhere, but I'm hoping the more we kind of go through this process, she's going to learn that her immediate problem right now isn't going away, but how she deals with her immediate problem can change how hard her life is versus how easy it can be. So what she's going to end up finding out is if she'll just deal with things in a rational manner, things will just get easier. You know, it doesn't mean that the saddle's not going to be there tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and the day after that. It just means the less she wants to overreact about that saddle being there, the easier her time will be with it. Because this is very much going to be a part of her life for quite a while. You know? So for me, the more she just learns how to, okay, this is just going to be part of my daily life for a little while. I don't know how long. But the more I fight it, boy, the more tired I get, the more panicked I get, the more restless I get. And it's still there. So what do I do different? Do I just walk around? Do I trot around? Do I just stand here? Like, what's the best way for me to overcome this issue I'm having? And right now, as you can see, she is not 100% relaxed, but she's starting to come to the conclusion that this saddle isn't getting off her back anytime by trying to run away from it. So I am just here. I am a beacon for her to come to if she needs the support, but she also has to problem solve on her own. Independence is very much something that I've had to work on very much in my life, is how to deal with things as they come to you. And it's something that I'm really trying to teach my kids as well as my horses, is confidence and independence doesn't mean you have to do things all the way alone. You can have help, you can get direction, you can seek advice, you can seek comfort, you can seek many different things, but you, at the end of the day, you have to be able to think through things by yourself. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to be there like you're going to be there. So this is wonderful here is we're just walking. We're back to where we started. But I got a sneaking suspicion if I step 2 and ask her to go a little more, we'll fall down again. And that's all right. So right here, I'm going to just kind of be here to tell her no, or hey, remember, if you relax, things get better. So again, we're just going to wait her out. We're going to let her deal with things in her own time and her own reasoning. There's nothing I can do at this point other than just be here. I can be something for her to check in with once in a while. And if things get real hairy, I can intervene a little bit. But she has to come to the conclusion herself that blowing up isn't the answer. And I know this just sounds like I'm stuck on repeat, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, it's very important that she learn. Very important that she learn that to start exploring different options. As you can see, I've not beat on her, I've not smashed on her, I've not rushed her, I've not disciplined her. I'm just asking her to keep trying to come to a different conclusion. So all I'm here for is to hopefully guide her into coming to that conclusion. That's not too bad there. And as you can see, I don't like for these things to get wrung out and out of ear. But we're at a stage with this filly now that if we don't make her kind of work through this now, this is going to be a reoccurring problem for quite a while. So she is going to have to get a little tired. She is going to have to get a little stressed. I'm going to intervene before she's a danger to herself, but she's going to have to work through this, and there's only one way to work through it, is to just work through it. And I'm going to try and make her conserve her energy and her ear as much as possible. And when they go through tough days like this, I won't work them every day. I will saddle them and I will let them work through this problem, and they'll get kind of tired and wrung out, and then I'll let them have a day in the turnout or in their stall or whatever I have available for them to rest and regenerate, where they're not muscle sore the next day, or they're not just so mentally exhausted. I like for them to be able to recuperate physically and mentally before I'll do this again. So like right here, she wants to have another little spat. And I'm gonna accept some middle ground with her here, where she's allowed to blow up a little bit, but now I'm gonna start saying, no, come here. No, come here. You're allowed to have a moment, but that moment needs to start reducing here a little bit. And it's not about rushing it, it's just about saying, hey, I've presented you with your options. You found your release. So now it's time for you to start looking for that release sooner. Because otherwise we could be here for 10 hours doing this over and over and over if I don't just step in here and say, hey, come here. See there? I don't have to get after her hard. I just got to say, hey, come here. Come here. So like right there when she gets out of position, this is when she gets herself in trouble. So now she needs to learn, you can move forward all you want, but you have to use yourself. Otherwise, you're going to fall out. And again, when she finds her release, and her reward is you get to catch your ear, you get to stand still and process what's going on around you. Good girl. So again, she gets to catch her ear for a second. And again, I'm not disciplining her. I'm just saying, hey, check in with me here. And I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to start upping my expectations just a little bit to quit, to maybe, if I can redirect her thought process here of blow up, of every time she does blow up, I kind of intervene a little bit and make her redirect. I'll kind of snap her back down to earth a little bit, where she's maybe comes to the conclusion that maybe blowing up isn't the answer, because every time I blow up, I have to do something different with my feet. See that right here? Now she's thinking a little more, so she gets more rank. Redirect. Good. So as always, I always encourage questions. I don't know how many people actually watch this stuff or necessarily care or whatever, but I'm very passionate about these babies, and these are always been kind of my specialty, is these extra feely ones, and I don't know if it's just because I relate to them more or what, you know. They kind of challenge the ego sometimes because, you know, obviously it's always a lot more fun to show off and be able to bring one in here and work it around for a minute or two and hit it with the flag a time or two and saddle it up and jip it around you a little bit and then just climb on. But the reality of it is there are a lot of horses out there that will allow you to do that, and a lot of people that are very capable of doing it with them. But these ones here, and I'm by no means saying I'm a great colt starter, because I'm not. I'm just a reining horse trainer. I'm by no means a cowboy. I'm by no means anything special. But these kind of horses here are horses that aren't for everybody. And there's just something about being able to take something that isn't for everybody and make it for you that makes it just a little bit extra rewarding for me. So right here, we're getting to be in a really good frame of mind. Probably to a point where I'm going to allow her to be done for the day. We'll take her and give her a nice shower, let her stand tied for 30, 40 minutes, let her dry off, and then we'll put her back out in her pen, and then we'll revisit her again on Saturday, because this is Thursday today. So we're going to allow her to get a good day's rest, regenerate physically, regenerate mentally, hopefully absorb some of the lesson that she's learned here today, and then we'll come back again on Saturday and see where we are then. And hopefully we'll have a camera lady again, so you guys can see progress from today to next. But progress from day before last to today was huge, because I never lost her completely to today at all. So she was always somewhat with me. So she still overreacted a few times, but much better than last session. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me or call me or whatever. So thanks for watching.